Okay, yeah. So hello, everyone. We are the Rejuvenation Tech team. So just starting off, I'm going to be honest. So unfortunately, as we were merging our 2FA and just as we were finishing up the 2FA, there's just a template, just silly template error that's bottlenecking us. And so unfortunately, we can't show the demo of our entire participant side, I'll let them continue with the presentation, but just saying that in advance. So off to you, Joe.
Hello, everybody. We're the Rejuvenation Technologies team. So what is Rejuvenation Technologies? So what they are is that they're a biotech company that works extensively with age-related diseases and conditions. They're currently focusing on developing a nutraceutical drug that will extend the lifespan of DNA. Rejuvenation Tech was founded in 2016 by 4 Stanford PhD students. So what is their purpose? So Rejuvenation Technologies tasked us with making an easy-to-use clinical trials platform to initially only test their drug with the goal of creating a platform able to be utilized by any nutraceutical developer. The platform is designed to walk a trial participant through the clinical trials process and allow said participant to monitor their progress. In the same way, the administrator will also monitor progress and stay up to date on their various trials at once within the platform. Now, passing on to the front-end team to talk about their successes.
At the start of the incubator, we began by designing our pages with Figma, finding color palettes that worked, and getting an idea of what the initial design of the site as a whole would look like. After that, we got our initial participant and investigator pages drafted, then started to add pages to both pipelines as requested by our client, Dr. Ramunas, as well as making some stylistic changes. Then we began to tweak and add features to our existing pages based on his feedback and created our last quality of life pages for both pipelines and made final changes to our older pages. After that, we began experimenting with frameworks to optimize our pages for use on much smaller screens, such as mobile devices, and in the future, we are hoping to optimize the rest of our pages, most likely using Bootstrap. This is where we would have liked to show our participant side working, but unfortunately we did have that template error, so we're going to just walk you through it on the flowchart that we made instead. Starting with the home page, that will take you to the sign up or sign in page for the participant. If you were signing up, after entering all your information and clicking the sign up button, it will then take you to our terms of service, where you have to agree to the terms of using our site. From there, the terms of service and sign-in will both take you to the profile page, which will have all of your active and pending trials, as well as all of your user information. If you don't have any active trials, you can click to add a new trial, which will take you to our dashboard. From our dashboard, you'll be able to choose any trial that is listed there and go to the trial overview. The trial overview will have all of the information regarding the trial and will give you the option to apply to that trial if you're interested. Applying to the trial will take you to the informed consent page for the trial that the investigator would have uploaded. If you agree to the informed consent, it will then take you back to the profile, and that trial will be under your pending trials section. Once you have that trial added, it will go to your current trials, and clicking that will take you to the single trial page, which will have all of your progress on the trial as well as the to-dos. Once the trial is concluded, the results page will be available, and clicking the results button in the bottom left of the single trial page will bring you to the results page. And I will pass this off to Faye to walk through our investigator side.
For our investigator side, we are still working on it. However, we do have the pipeline completed. So it's also similarly to the participant pipeline, where there's a home page that leads to either sign up or sign in page. And then after signing in or signing up, you're led to a profile and dashboard page where you can either on the left quadrant edit your organization information, or on the right quadrant view your trial in your current trials. So you can either from there create and edit a trial, or view the pending and current participants. Now I'll be passing it off to the backend.
And on the backend side of things, In weeks 1 and 2, all team members got their roles and started researching and doing tutorials in Django and Postgres. In weeks 2, 3 to 4, we did login systems completed. In weeks 5 and 6, we did HIPAA encryption and work began on the homepage. In weeks 7 to 8, work on 2FA began and the homepage was almost finalized. In week 9, the homepage was finally finalized, 2FA was completed, and the URL page was linked. In weeks 10, we fixed bugs in the homepage and in 2FA. And in the future, we want to work on the investigator side and also add some test games to the backend. Now on to individual learning.
Okay, coming into this as a front-end developer, I'd never done that before. I barely even knew what CSS was, and the only time I touched HTML was in 7th grade web design. But after these 10 weeks, I can quickly write an HTML and CSS for a page from scratch, which, you know, it's more than I had hoped to do. And I have a better understanding of incorporating scripting languages into projects such as JavaScript. I had never done that before either. And now, as we neared the end, I started working with frameworks such as Bootstrap, and now I have a better understanding of how those work as well.
So yeah, coming into the incubator as a front-end developer, I had very basic knowledge of HTML and CSS. I had a decent idea how to format the pages, but I did not know or like have the skills to get those ideas into fruition. But now I know how to incorporate Figma into my design projects, and I now know how to add cool features like embedded PDFs and forms into HTML.
Us coming into the team as a backend developer, I knew the basics of Python. I've never even heard of Django, and I didn't know how to contribute to the team. But now I know how to work with Django, and I think I learned more to how to do like advanced debugging, and I think I got a better grasp as to how CSS and HTML are used on a website.
Hi, I'm Landry. I was on the backend side. So coming into the incubator, I had a good understanding in Python, but had not worked with Django yet. I had never also hosted a site, really worked with URLs. Coming out of the incubator, I feel much more confident in Django and Postgres, and I worked with login systems, account creation, building a dashboard, and linking URL patterns.
So going into the incubator, I had a very good idea of Python and how to make some Discord bots, but I had a small understanding of how to code front end. And at the end of the incubator, I have an exquisite understanding of how to code an encryption system in Python, as well as how to create 2FA on top of knowing more about Python in general.
Our obstacles and challenges for the front end began with alignment. Learning to create professionally aligned pages using CSS classes was a little hard at first, given that a lot of our pages had a lot of boxes that needed to be repeated next to each other. After that, it began to be problems with frameworks, incorporating those into our site for device responsiveness, such as Bootstrap, which took almost a full week to learn how to use properly. Then, creating our Figma designs with HTML and CSS code was another big challenge that took us maybe 2 weeks to fully figure out. And after all that was done, we had to begin working with our client to modify all of the pages that we had made to fit Dr. Ramunis's needs and to make our platform better as a whole for both the investigator and participant.
So for the backend, a few errors that we had was syncing, which was matching and syncing two members' code together, because we would overlap sometimes and it would error out. And then another like really annoying one was module rejuvenation dash tech dash testers module did not exist, which we didn't know why it was happening because we never referenced it once, but we managed to figure it out and fix the error.
So in the future, we plan on having a fully working prototype by the end of December, and then having deployment in June of 2023. So for our front end, as mentioned before, we plan on bootstrapping our pages, so making them more device responsive, and also further polishing our pages as needed.
For the backend side, couldn't fix it, but we're trying to fix the template error, and we're gonna try to finish the investigator side. We're also gonna add some like games, and we're gonna test it.
So what is the big impact? Ultimately, the big impact of our project is it will help people have better access to potentially life-saving medications by increasing the speed of medical research, which could potentially save lives. And to close it off, have you ever heard that a picture is worth 1,000 words? Well, a line of code is worth 1,000 hours. Thank you, and that's the end of our presentation.